Hi everyone, my name is Eliza. This is going to be a 45-minute restorative class. Today I'm going to be using 2 yoga blocks, a blanket, and a bolster. If you don't have some of these at home, you can feel free to kind of substitute whatever you have. If you have a pillow, that would work really well as a bolster. And then of course a blanket. The yoga blocks are optional, so if you don't have those lying around, it's totally fine. You can do all of these stretches and exercises with and without them. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. If you want to meet me in a seated position, we're going to start by centering our breath. So go ahead, make your way here. You can feel free just to start fluttering the eyes closed. And we're just going to start taking some deep breaths here. So go ahead and start by breathing in through the nose and exhaling back out through the mouth. Just taking these nice and slow, starting to find your rhythm of breath. And as we're sitting here, we want to work on posture. So we're sitting up straight. We're feeling the natural curves in the spine start to align with one another. You can feel free to take a couple shoulder rolls here. Just really feeling how much more air you can bring into the lungs, the straighter up that you're sitting. Lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and continuing to breathe. We're starting to shift the focus of the breath from the chest down into the stomach. You can feel free here to lay a hand on your belly button, just feeling those lungs expand and contract. And as we get comfortable here, you can go ahead and start to seal the lips. So we're coming into our yogi breath, breathing in through the nose and also back out through the nose. Really deepening out the breaths. You should be able to listen to your own inhales and exhales. They should be very audible. Feeling that breath move through the back of your throat as you push it out through the nose. Maybe counting how long it takes to get to the top of your breath, holding it there briefly, and then exhaling to release it back out. Again, feeling free to count how long it takes to get to the bottom of the breath and just repeating this cycle. While we're here, starting to clear your mind of any stress or any worries that are present inside of it. Feeling free to use this time to set an intention for our class today, something you'd like to work on or something you'd like to keep in mind. If you'd like to, you can feel free to borrow my intention for today, which is going to be gratitude. Taking time to just be thankful for the things that we have instead of focusing our energy on the things that we don't have. Go ahead and take 2 more deep breaths here. And on your next exhale, we're bringing the left ear down towards the left shoulder. So we're getting a slight stretch here in the neck. Being careful not to overextend that muscle. Just letting the head hang. And inhale, bring the head up. Exhale, bring the right ear down towards the right shoulder. While we're here, you can feel free to keep those eyes closed. If you'd feel more comfortable, you can feel free to open them back up. Inhale, bring the head up. And exhale, bring it to the other side. You can start to follow your own breath here. Just kind of moving your head back and forth from shoulder to shoulder. Keeping those shoulders pressed down, away from your head. It's really important here to match your own breath with your own movement. So if what feels comfortable for you and for your body looks a little bit different than what I'm doing, that's okay. We're all made differently. So let's embrace our differences here and follow what feels best for us. And that will apply throughout our entire practice together today. If I'm ever doing something that doesn't feel comfortable or right for you, feel free to modify it so it feels best. From here, go ahead and bring it to some neck rolls. Just gently drawing some circles in the air with your nose. Again, we want to be really careful here. Just make sure you're not overextending that neck muscle. Should be a really slight movement here. Making sure we're still sitting up nice and straight. I forgot to mention this at the beginning of our class, but if you would like to play some music, I'm not able to play it here in the studio, but you can feel free to turn on maybe a meditative or acoustic playlist. I think that will really add something to our class if you're able to. And go ahead and switch directions if you haven't already. All right, we're taking one more deep breath here. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and meet me back here. We're inhaling, bringing the arms up over the head. You can feel free to open those eyes back up. Exhale, we're bringing the left hand down to the mat. The right hand is reaching up and over. So you should feel a stretch in that right oblique. We're hanging out here for a couple of breaths. If you want to deepen this out, just really keep reaching with that top arm. Feeling the engagement from the shoulders all the way to the fingertips. And inhale, use this bottom hand to press yourself up. Exhale, we're sinking it down to the other side. Again, we're reaching with that left arm here. Really feeling that stretch in the left oblique. Continuing to deepen your breath out. And inhale, bring it back up. Again, we're going to start to follow our own breaths here. So you can feel free to keep taking it slow, or you can pick up the pace just a little bit. Warming up the spine here as well as the core. Starting to stretch out some of these muscles that we use frequently throughout our day. Go ahead and take one more here. Really reaching. And on your next inhale, you can go ahead and bring it back up to the top here. That gaze is coming to the ceiling. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, this right hand is coming to the outside of the left knee. So we're coming into a spinal twist. Your gaze is coming towards the back of the room here, and we're gently pressing on the outside of that knee. You should feel a slight twist in that lower back. We're starting to stretch it out here. Chin is still nice and lifted. The crown of the head is up towards the ceiling. One more deep breath. And inhale, bring it back up to the top. Exhale, sink it down. We're twisting the other side out here, making sure we're getting an even stretch on both sides of the body. If you want to deepen this out, just apply a little extra pressure to the outside of that leg here with the left hand. And inhale. inhale, bring it back up. We're gonna take one more here on each side. We're taking this again at our own pace. If one side's feeling a little bit tighter, you can, as always, feel free to hang out there for an extra breath or two. Really paying attention to your body and what it needs. One more deep breath. And on your next inhale, we're bringing those arms back over the head one more time. Nice deep breath. And as you exhale, we're bringing those hands down to our sides. If you have a bolster or a pillow, go ahead and grab it. We're going to do a little bit of a light chest opener. As we're sitting here, we're staying in the seated position. The bolster is going to come right out in front of you. And then as you inhale, we're bringing those arms together in the front. The palms are facing outwards. And exhale, bring those hands together in the back, lace the fingers together, bring the shoulder blades together in the back, and bring the chest out in the front. So we're coming into a chest opener here. If it would feel more comfortable to just hang out here for a couple breaths, you can feel free to do that. If you'd like to deepen this out, we're gently going to exhale forward, keeping those arms out behind you. Forehead comes down to the bolster, and we're adding a lower back stretch here. You can go ahead and meet me here whenever you're ready, taking whichever variation of this stretch. Keeping it nice and gentle. If this chest opener is a little bit too much for you, you can feel free to release that grip. Bring the hands down on either side of your bolster and just rest forward. Isolating that lower back muscle and turning this into a lower back stretch instead of a chest opener. Once you get here, we're continuing to deepen that breath out. In through the nose and back out through the nose. Really taking the engagement out of your core here and just allowing the weight to fall forward. Using the bolster to fully support you. That's what it's here for. Take advantage of it. Your body works so hard to support you every day, so we really want to give it what it deserves right now and let it take a break. Go ahead and take 2 more deep breaths here wherever you are. And on your next inhale, go ahead and release those laced fingers if you're still in that chest opener. If not, just start to walk those hands back up. So remaining here in a seated position. You can go ahead and take your bolster or your pillow or whatever, just put it off to the side here for a moment. We're gonna come back to that later. And then when you're ready on your next inhale, we're bringing those arms up over the head again. Nice deep breath here. And as you exhale, the hands are coming down in front of you. We're slowly rolling up over those knees. And we're coming into a neutral tabletop position here. So we're untucking the toes. If you would go ahead, do a quick check for me here. You want to have a straight line between the wrists and the shoulders, the hips and the knees, and a nice flat back. As we inhale, we're bringing it up to cow pose. So the gaze is moving up towards the ceiling. The stomach is dropping down towards the mat. Should feel a nice deep stretch here in that lower back. And exhale, push it into cat pose. The gaze is coming to the tops of the thighs, and we're slowly shifting the weight forward into the palms. So as you come into this pose, you should feel a little bit of shoulder separation. Inhale, bring it up to cow. And exhale, push it into cat. We're starting to follow our own breaths here. You guys can go ahead and take this at your own pace. Feeling free, as always, to stay in one position for an extra breath or two if that would feel better for you. We're really warming up the spine, getting it loosened up, reducing any tightness that's in there. You can feel free to move your hips from side to side. You stretch those out, really making it your own. Really working here on matching that movement with your breath. So again, as we inhale, we're bringing it up to cow. And then on that exhale, push it into cat. You can go ahead and take one more here in each position. And when you're ready, we're bringing it back down to that neutral tabletop position. Go ahead and pick up your right hand here. We're reaching it up towards the ceiling. Feeling that twist in the lower back again. Gaze is following those fingertips. And exhale, thread the arm underneath, coming down to rest on that shoulder. Coming in to thread the needle. You can feel free to close your eyes, making sure we aren't applying too much pressure to the head. You can feel free to let it rest lightly on the mat, but we want to feel most of that stretch here in the shoulder blade. Taking a moment here maybe to focus back in on that breath, just in case you lost it. Finding that yogi breath, your own unique pattern of inhales and exhales. We're taking one more deep breath here, really feeling free to roll a little bit further onto that outside shoulder if you can. And as you inhale, we're pressing into this left hand, reaching that arm back up one more time, and exhaling to bring it back down to the mat. You can feel free to roll out the wrist here for a moment. Just taking a deep breath. And then when you're ready, we're picking up that left hand, reaching it up towards the ceiling, opening up the chest. And exhale, again, we're threading it underneath. So we're coming down to rest on that shoulder. If you'd like to deepen this out, you can pick up that right hand and just rest on the small of your rack. That will really help you open up the chest a little bit more and get a deeper stretch here. We're taking one more breath wherever you are. And when you're ready, we're pressing into that right hand, reaching up with the left. Nice deep breath here. And exhale, slowly bring that hand back down to the mat. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and just start to sink it back into child's pose. Bringing the glutes to the tops of the heels, bringing the head down to the mat. Starting to roll the forehead back and forth here, giving it a little massage. Reaching those fingertips out in front of you. We're going to stay here for one more breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and pull it back up to this neutral tabletop. We're going to grab that bolster again, or pillow, whatever you're using. Go ahead and grab it. You can come back to rest on those heels. we're pulling the bolster in between our legs here, so it should be pretty snug. And then when you're ready, we're slowly just gonna walk the hands out in front of it. So you're resting the whole upper half of your body onto the bolster. You should be able to relieve the tension and engagement from your hips and your glutes as well. So if you need to, you can press the bolster back between your legs. So you should be able to rest your full body here on the bolster, bringing your head down. If you're super tall like me and your body takes up the entire bolster and your head hangs off the front, you can feel free to grab your 2 yoga blocks or another pillow to rest those on. We're gonna hang out here for a couple breaths. Again, just really allowing your body to relax here, taking the engagement out of all of your muscles. Should feel a nice deep stretch in your hip flexors. Continuing to focus in on that breath. And just deepening out your inhales and exhales as you allow yourself to sink deeper and deeper onto this bolster. Really relying on it to hold you up. Relaxing the neck here, as well as the back. You can feel free to just take 2 more deep breaths here. Starting to open those eyes back up if you have them closed. And slowly on our next inhale, we're pressing ourselves back up, walking those hands in towards the knees. You can go ahead and remove your bolster out and just place it off to the side for a moment. If you have a yoga block or 2, go ahead and grab those now. If you don't, no worries, you don't need them for this one. Go ahead and place them right out in front of you and bring it back to that neutral tabletop position. If you have those blocks, go ahead and rest your hands on top of them. And then as you exhale, we're slowly gonna bring the forehead down between the arms and bring it to rest on the ground. We're keeping the bottom half of the body right where it is. So we're coming into a modified puppy pose here. Again, if you do not have any blocks at home, you can keep your hands on the mat and just sink it back into traditional child's pose. The goal of this stretch is to really get a deep stretch in those shoulders. So if you would rather rest your hands on something else, if you have it at home, to keep those palms elevated above your head, you can feel free to do that. You really want to feel this deep stretch between the shoulder blades and a little bit throughout the lower back as well. You can feel free to close your eyes and maybe roll the head back and forth on the mat again. If this becomes uncomfortable for whatever reason, you can go ahead and just bring it back to traditional child's pose, or you can bring it to traditional puppy pose, just bringing those palms down to the mat and keeping the glutes raised. Again, you know your body better than I do, so go ahead and take whichever variation is most comfortable for you. We're only going to be here for a couple more breaths. We're taking one more breath here, wherever you are. And on your next inhale, gently pull yourself back up. If you're using blocks, bring those hands back down to the mat. And we're going to place those blocks off to the side for a moment. Go ahead and make your way back to a seated position, meeting me here. Our next pose is going to use both the blocks and the bolsters. If you don't have yoga blocks at home, you can feel free to use a chair or something sturdy, a table, something that can hold your pillow or your bolster up. So go ahead and grab whatever props you have. I'm going to take my yoga blocks. You want to have two of them. So the one farther away from you is going to be vertical, and the one closest to you is going to be horizontal. So they're a little bit spread out. You can go ahead and set them up here if you have them. Then we're going to take the bolster and just lay it across. So it should be at a diagonal. You can take a moment just to kind of position these the way you want them to be. If you only have one block, you can feel free to just set it up vertically and not have that second block there for support. Once you get it, go ahead and press on it. Just make sure it's nice and sturdy so it doesn't give out on you. And then we're going to pick one side. We're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you start with. Go ahead and just bring your hip to the base of the bolster or the pillow. And then once you're there, you can start to bring your legs out to the sides, and we're just walking those hands out until our whole side is resting on the bolster. Making yourself comfortable here. Turning your head to the side. And really just relaxing into this pose. You're feeling a little bit of a stretch throughout the side of your body. Noticing how this makes you feel. Noticing how it feels to be supported. Not having to do so much work for yourself. If you'd like, you can feel free to use your blanket here. Just cover yourself up however you'd like. If you find that this puts a little bit too much pressure on your hips, you can feel free to roll it around so you're on this side of your glute. That would be a little bit more comfortable. You can really play around with your position here and just find what's going to feel best for you and for your body. Starting to bring awareness back into your breath here. We're taking 2 more deep breaths wherever we are. And on your next inhale, really slowly start to press yourself back up. Walking the hands back in towards the hips. We're going to do the exact same thing just on the other side. So you can go ahead and make your way onto your other hip, flipping it around. I'm going to readjust my props just so I'm not facing away from you all, but you don't have to do the same thing. Finding your way there. Getting comfortable. Again, feel free to use your blanket. We're bringing the hip down to the base of our bolster, and again, just start to walk those hands out on either side. Feeling free again to kind of adjust your position until you find what's really, really comfortable. And then once you get there, just focus on bringing engagement out of those muscles and just letting yourself rest and relax. Wherever you are in this pose, we're taking 2 more deep breaths at your own pace. Nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Being gentle here with yourself as you slowly, again, bring those hands back into the sides. Once you get here, go ahead, put that bolster and those yoga blocks off to the side for right now. You can keep your blanket nearby. All right, and once you're ready, you can actually make your way onto your back here. Laying down. Inhaling to bring those arms up over your head, coming into a full body stretch. And as you exhale, we're bringing both of the knees into the chest, giving them a little hug. And as we exhale, we're extending that right leg out. Nice deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, we're pressing that left knee over towards the other side of the mat. Bringing the arms out straight on either side. Coming into another form of that spinal twist. If you'd like to deepen this out, you can shift your gaze over the left shoulder. As you inhale, slowly bringing that knee back up and over. You can go ahead, bring your right knee up to join, give them another little hug, and then this time we're releasing that left leg down. As you exhale, pressing that right knee towards the left side of the mat. Again, we're bringing those arms out straight. Gaze is going over the right shoulder this time. Again, on your next inhale, slowly bring that leg back up and over. And the left leg's coming to join this time. Bringing them in for another tight squeeze. If you would prefer to stay here, you can feel free to do that. If you would rather, we're gonna come into happy baby. So we're sending out the pointer and the middle fingers, hooking them around the big toes, pulling the feet up and the knees out. And then whenever you get here, you can start to roll it back and forth on the mat, massaging out that spine. We're taking 2 more deep breaths here wherever we are. Getting ready to transition into Savasana. On your next inhale, bring those knees into your chest one last time. Give them one more tight hug. And go ahead and release it down. Straightening those legs out in front of you, coming into your final resting position for our class today. Really feeling free to make yourself comfortable here. If you'd like to grab that blanket again, maybe rest your head on that pillow, you can feel free to do so. Laying flat on the mat. Starting to relax the body, one muscle at a time. Starting in the feet, moving up to the legs, the glutes, the lower back, shoulders, the arms, hands and the fingers, the neck, the head, and finally relaxing the face, unscrunching the eyebrows, softening the gaze, bringing the tongue down to the bottom of the mouth. And as you're doing this, with every muscle you relax, allowing one worry or anxious thought to slowly leave your mind. So by the time your body is fully relaxed, your mind is as well. And from here, you can allow yourself to slip slowly into a state of relaxation. Starting to bring the mind back down to the mat from wherever it may have drifted off to. Bringing awareness back into your breath. Coming back into that rhythm of inhales and exhales. Bringing awareness back into the body. Maybe wiggling out those fingers and toes. And when you're ready, we're slowly rolling it over onto one side of the body. Using our arm as a pillow. Taking note of which side you chose today. The left side is for clarity, and the right side is for serenity. Taking a moment while we're here to think back to your intention, the one you set at the beginning of our class, and just thinking about how you can apply it to the rest of your day today. Also, giving yourself just a moment of gratitude, thanking yourselves for taking this class today and doing something so great, not just for your body, but also for your mind. And feeling free to give yourself a compliment, because you deserve to give yourself the love that you so freely spread to everyone else around you. While we're here, I'd like to leave you with this quote today. I hope whatever it is that you believe is bigger than all your struggles, I hope even in the season of change and uncertainty, you are able to see how far you have come from where you began. We're taking one last breath here. And on your next inhale, feeling free to take your time to get there. We're going to bring it back up to a seated position, and we're going to take one final breath together. You can feel free to keep your blanket on, or you can put it off to the side. Whenever you're ready, bringing those arms up over your head as you take a deep breath in. Remembering while we're here that you are always loved, you are always appreciated, and you are always more than enough. And as you exhale, we're bringing those hands over the forehead for kind thoughts, the mouth for kind words, and the heart for good intentions. Namaste means the light and love in me, honors and respects the light and love in each of you. So feel free to say it back to me as I say it to you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming. This was Restorative Yoga. My name's Eliza, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it.